every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.
You are approaching a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint without knowing that it's against or it offends them and subject you to a frog jump. That is wrong.
Hello out there, you are welcome to another fresh episode of the program Justify Nigeria on ACNN television, reaching from Abuja. On today's episode of the program, our focus will be the legality or otherwise of the tenure extension of Inspector General of Police by the President. My name is Anozechi Nomso. Nigerian Police Force is one of the security agencies in Nigeria saddled with the responsibility to maintain peace, law and order, and also protect lives and properties of citizens. When one is a member of Nigerian Police Force, it is expected of him to retire at the mandatory age of 35 years in service or 60 years of age, whichever that comes first. But this was not the case of the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu. This is because on Thursday, the 4th of February 2021, the President, through the Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Dingyadi, announced the extension of the IGP's tenure of office by 3 months. Mr. Dingyadi said that the extension was necessary to give room for robust and proper selection of a competent successor. The question now is, how legitimate and lawful is this extension? Does Mr. President have the capacity to extend the tenure of a public servant, even that of the Inspector General of Police? Is there any democratic damage this act may cause to our country? With me in the studio to discuss and address all this is Barrister James Nzago. He is the principal partner of Beach Brooks Legal here in Abuja. You are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Barrister, I don't know how you are looking at the state of affairs of our country. First of all, before we delve into the major thing, who is an Inspector General of Police and how does he emerge?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, by virtue of Section 215 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, it is what provides for the Office of Inspector General of Police. Section
so
215.
That office is legal?
Yes.
It has a...
Yes, it is provided for by the Constitution. Good. Section 215 to be precise. Now, he said there shall be an Office of the Inspector General of Police and he shall be appointed by the President on the advice of the Nigerian Police Council.
So he can't even do that alone?
No. And the appointment must be among serving officers of the Nigerian Police Force. That is provided for in Section 215. Is
expressly stated there?
Yes, expressly stated there. Now, if you go to Section 7 of the Nigerian Police Act, 2020, Nigerian Police Act 2020 as amended, signed recently by the President. Section 7 says there shall be an Inspector General of Police and he shall be the head of the Nigerian Police and he shall have full control, operational control, and he shall exercise command and full control, operational control of the police and all of his departments. Now, he is the head of the Nigerian Police and all the departments. And now, he also must be a senior police officer, not below the rank of AIG. Okay. He must be a senior police officer, not below the rank of AIG.
So a commissioner cannot be?
Not at all. For you to qualify to be an Inspector General of Police, you must be at least an Assistant Inspector General of Police. And then thirdly, the person must be a serving officer of the Nigerian Police.
Not a retired one?
Not at all. A serving officer. And the appointment must be on the advice, by the President on the advice. That is what Section 7 of the Police Act 2020 provides.
So you can't just dispense with the advice
of the...
Not at all.
It must be on the advice of the Nigerian Police Council. And finally, he has a tenure of 4 years. The Inspector General of Police has a tenure.
Upon being appointed?
Yes, upon being appointed of 4 years. So a comprehensive reading of Section 215 and 216 of the Constitution and Section 7 of the Nigerian Police Act 2020 will give you a clear picture of who the Inspector General of Police
and how he emerges. Thank you very much. Now, looking at the situation, we know that Mohammed Adamu, the inspector, will I call him now the Inspector General or immediate past or whatever, now supposed to retire on 2nd of February. But Mr. President is the president. He extended or he gave extension of the tenure. What is your legal assessment on that? Does he have the power to do that?
Well, before I start, I must say that it is only in Nigeria that will do things backwards. It is only in this country that will do things backwards. In developed climes, these things are not done this way. Now, as we speak, legally speaking, you're asking for legal assessment.
Yes.
Legally speaking, we don't have an Inspector General of Police.
As it is.
Presently, Nigeria does not have an Inspector General of Police.
Why do you say that on the law?
Now, he is retired. The Constitution and the Police Act says he must be a serving officer. So, Mohammed Adamu is no longer a police officer. He ceased being a police officer on the midnight of 1st of February 2021. So he's a retired officer, and the law does not permit anybody, by whatever nomenclature, by whatever name called, whether the president or who, to bring back or to foist on the Nigerian police somebody who is not a member of the Nigerian police force or who is retired. The moment you are retired, he's a civil servant. His appointment has finished. So he cannot be recalled to head a parastatal or a department or a force that the express provision of the Constitution says must be a serving member of the police. Now, looking at section 18.8 of section 18.8 of the Nigerian Police Act says a police officer, whether recruited or on appointment, will serve the force for 35 years or at the attainment of 60 years of service.
It's written there.
Yeah, at the attainment of 60 years. Section 18.8. That you whether recruited on recruitment or on appointment. So whether it is appointment, as in this case or recruitment, you can either serve either 35 years or once you attain 60 years, you retire. Now, in the case of Mohammed Adamu, he was born in 1961. He has served the Nigerian Police Force for 35 years. So that is to say, by age, he's 60. By this one, yes, he may not have reached 4 years in office as Inspector General of Police, but by virtue of the express provisions of the Police Act, we say either 60 or 35 years, he ceases to be a police officer. So he has retired, and nobody, I repeat, nobody, not even the president, has the right to bring him back, because in fact, as we speak, the president has breached the Constitution. He is in breach of the Nigerian Police Act, which he himself signed, and as a matter of fact, that action is illegal, it is unconstitutional, it is unlawful, it is arbitrary, it is questionable. It is questionable.
No, but Barrister James, some school of thought are saying that if the president has the power and capacity to appoint or hire a political office holder and also fire him, because he can wake up and say you're a minister, tomorrow he can wake up and say you are not. There have some school of thought say he also have that moral power, legal power to also extend the tenure. I
have tried to search. I have read all laws. I've not seen any law that empowers the president. Now, you can sack and you can hire, but where there is an express provision in the Constitution,
to extend is not
the Constitution and in the Police Act, you cannot go out of virus. Whatever action you do is null and void. Now, there is an express provision that says he must be a servant. This man is not, as long as we are concerned, Mohammed Adamu is a retired police officer. He's sitting, wherever he's sitting, he's not qualified to sit on that seat, and whatever he does is null and void.
And that's why you said that we don't have Inspector General of Police.
As it is now, that position is vacant. We are waiting for the president to fill it on the advice of the Nigerian Police Council. That position is vacant because whatever anybody, by whatever name called, who is retired, that is sitting there does, is null and void. Because the Constitution expressly says must. It says must. It's mandatory. A serving member of the Nigerian Police Force. So the question is Mohammed Adamu still serving in the Nigerian Police Force? He has retired, and he should go and take care of his grandchildren.
So the school of thought that is saying that the president can hire and fire.
It does not apply in this case. It does not apply in this case. The Constitution makes it express, and the Police Act makes it. Where there is a law, where that can happen is assuming Mohammed Adamu has served his 4 years in office as provided by Section 18, and then he's still a serving police officer. Whether
by serving or the time he's still there.
Yes, maybe he has not attained the age of 60. He has not attained 35 years in service, and then he still has some years to go. The president can at that point extend his tenure, But as it is, he has the president cannot force him. He cannot bring in a police force is not government appointment. It's not a ministerial appointment where you can look for a retired general and bring him and make him something. No, this one, the Constitution expressly states a serving. So the question now is Mohammed Adamu a serving police officer? And the answer is no. Has he retired? Yes. Is he qualified to be there? No. Is that extension right? No. It is unconstitutional.
But barristers, why do you think that this kind of thing keep on going on in our nation? Does it mean that the president doesn't have advisors? I mean, it might be a personal question, but why? Just like you said, it cannot happen in advance. Look at what happened in America. America stood their ground that the person that won an election must be the president.
That is it.
So, I don't know.
The question is, to an extent, I don't blame the president. I blame his advisors and his handlers. And I blame the Nigerian
Why do you say so?
Yes, I blame the Nigerian Police Council. Now, the day Mohammed Adamu was appointed Inspector General of Police, they knew the day he would retire. His files are there, his details are there, his records are there. They knew the day he would retire. So they should have, before now, started fishing for who will be the next Inspector General of Police. They ought to have gone to the market.
But Minister of Police Affairs seems to give a good reason. He says to get a competent
so what was he doing before now? In fact, the man has showed his high level of incompetence, high level of dereliction on his part. Now, he is the Minister of Police Affairs, and this should actually be among his duties. So he didn't advise the president and waited until Mohammed Adamu's retirement came. And you now came to say give him extra 3 months. So the question is, what is he being paid for? He's being paid with taxpayers' money. So that means all the salary has been receiving is a waste. He's just sitting down there not knowing what to do. Then he should leave the seat. He should leave the seat.
So that is not an excuse.
It is not an excuse. How can you say you are giving us 3 months for you to get a competent... What does it take to get a competent Assistant Inspector General of Police to take that position? 3 hours meeting and then they bring out their files, call all the AIGs and then look at their files. Who is the competent? If you want to give it to a particular tribe, you give. We don't care. But the important thing is let the right thing be done. Don't. This is the grand norm. You don't just wake up at night and then turn it upside down and expect Nigerians to keep quiet. No. That means the Minister of Police Affairs has failed as a minister, and he's not qualified to remain in that seat. In developed climes, I repeat, somebody should have left his seat. He would have resigned by now, or they have sacked him because he has failed.
Council, we see your passion, but we're going to come back to you after this timeout. Please do join us again. Hello, you're welcome to The Speaker on ACNN Television, reaching you from Abuja. On today's episode, we are asking a very pertinent question on whether we are living in Nigeria of correction or Nigeria of corruption. My name is Anozichi Nomsu. When the word correction is involved in anything, it signifies that there is hope for a better future. This is why correction is an abatement of noxious qualities and counteraction of what is inconvenient or hurtful on its effect. When all effort is made to right that which is wrong, in order to change it for the better, correction has definitely taken place. But such is not the same with corruption. This is because corruption is a bad thing. Corruption is a cankerworm that can destroy the moral and political fabrics of a nation. It oppresses and victimizes democracy and undermines the very existence of man. Little wonder Professor Chinua Achebe of blessed memory opined that corruption is an act of depravity, empowering and impunity through inducement and improper means which sets ablaze the progress of any given society. With incessant killing and state of fear, poverty, looting of public funds, and engagement of political grafts, I am persuaded to ask this question on whether we have Nigeria of correction or Nigeria of corruption. Precisely on Friday, 29th of May 2015, President Muhammad Buhari, during his inauguration at Ego Square in Abuja, as the 4th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in 4th Republic, promised Nigeria before the world that he will fight and eradicate corruption in Nigeria. Mr. President, sir, we have seen the level of your fight against corruption. Tell me, Mr. President and the ruling party APC, is the massive genocide and homicide that is going on in Nigeria on a daily basis fighting corruption? Is women and children escaping from rape to rape in Maiduguri and slaughtering and butchering of innocent citizens fighting corruption? Is the extension of term of office of Inspector General of Police Abubakar Muhammad Adamu to 3 months, even when he is due for retirement fighting corruption? Is nominating immediate service chiefs for non-career ambassadors fighting corruption? This is most laughable. The favoritism of a particular set of religion and tribe in your political appointments and leadership is an example of corruption and not correction. Let's take a look at this. Mr. President himself is from Northwest Muslim. Senate President, Northeast Muslim. INEC Chairman, Northwest Muslim. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Southwest Muslim. Immediate past Chief of Army Staff, Northeast Muslim. Current Chief of Army Staff, Northwest Muslim. Inspector General of Police, North Central Muslim. National Security Advisor, Northeast Muslim. Director, National Intelligence Agency, Northeast Muslim. Director General, DSS, Northwest Muslim. Controller General of Immigration, Northwest Muslim. Controller General of Customs, Northeast Muslim. Controller General of Civil Defense, Northeast Muslim. Controller General of Nigerian Correctional Service, Muslim North. Acting Chairman of EFCC, Northeast Muslim. Chief Justice of the Federation, Northeast Muslim. Chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, Northeast Muslim. Managing Director, Nigerian Post Authority, Northwest Muslim. Director General NEMASA, Northeast Muslim. Minister of Education, Northeast Muslim. Executive Secretary, National University Commission, Northwest Muslim. Chairman, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Southwest Muslim. The list is indeed very endless, and I can go on and on. President Muhammad Buhari and his comrades in arms must be told, if they don't know, that this is the highest level of corruption that can happen in any sovereign states. How can it be that in a country like Nigeria that is so much endowed, we be experiencing such level of impunity, wickedness, intimidation, oppression, suppression, frustration, depression, and man's inhumanity to fellow men? How can it be that a country such as Nigeria is in a state where blood will flow like water, kidnapping everywhere, and oftentimes the perpetrators of these crimes own up? Nobody is arrested, let alone prosecuted. While in another part of the country, probably the southeast, south-south, or southwest, some people come out for only demonstration that is peaceful. And before you know it, people are leveled to the ground. Arrest and detention is made. How can it be that there seems to be a law governing some part of geopolitical zone of Nigeria, while another law is governing another part of geopolitical zone? How can it be that when people are massacred, nothing happens? But when one cow is killed, Nigerian Governors Forum will be summoned for a meeting? It can only be because of corruption. It is high time we began to recognize that corruption can undermine democracy. Corruption has victims. When we do not have good roads and schools, it's because of corruption. When we have poor infrastructure, it's because of corruption. When our young men and women are dying in Sahara Desert, Mediterranean Sea, and transporting hard drugs, it's because of corruption. When Nigeria continues to punch beyond her economic and political weight, it is because of corruption. Fellow citizens, the story of corruption in Nigeria is that which can be told for a very long time. But when one is in a program like this, speaking for too long is not very wise. Wisdom not only requires, but also demands that one needs to conclude his speech within a given time. I therefore speak that until all of us join hands and kill this monster called corruption and begin to change our mindset towards life, pursue and exhibit righteousness and honesty in all we do, so that one day, just like it is said in the Bible, sin, where is thy power and sting? We could likewise say, corruption, where is thy power? Corruption, where is thy sting? Until such a day comes, we shall continue to have Nigeria of corruption instead of Nigeria of correction. My name is Anozechi Nomso. I just want to speak. Hello, glad to know that you are still there, and we are still here with Barrister James Zagu. What a controversial issue, and I can see the passion you have to right the wrongs of this country. But before we went for break, you are trying to let us know that what the minister have done is bad, that that was not an excuse. But some school of thought or some people agree that choosing or getting Inspector General of Police is not just, it's more than calling a file. There must be some meetings to check whether they have hidden agenda so that you get a competent one. That was what some of the school of thought we are trying to say, that the minister was correct by giving that 3 months. What is your reaction on that? Are you saying that there's no room for...
It's unfortunate that in Nigeria, we take evil to be right. We take wrong to be right. Now the question is, I repeat, what was the Minister of Police Affairs doing 3 months ago? 3 months to February 1st, what was he doing? That is his assignment. It is his ministry. So he should be in charge. Now, all they should have done was, yes, it's good to take time to do due diligence and be sure, make all their findings. I agree.
But they would have done it before now.
They are belated. They are belated. Why didn't they do it 3 months ago? Was it on the 31st of January they knew that Mohammed Adamu's time in office will end on the 1st of February, midnight? No, they knew before now. So why didn't they go fetching go searching the files and fetching for who will take over from him? Why must we do the first things last in Nigeria? That is why we are at this point as a nation. Because anybody can wake up and do. If it was in developed climes, I repeat, they should have sacked that man.
Or they will resign on their
office, yes. And he will resign because he has failed. Now the question is, they should have done all this 3 months to time. Now the service chiefs, the current service chiefs that have been appointed, some of them by next year will be due for retirement. And then somebody will not do due diligence at this time. And they will wait for that time to extend their tenure. And then we'll get back to where we are now.
It takes me to the next question, sir. Do you think that this act of Mr. President and his own comrades in arms have any negative effect in our democracy?
As it is, our democracy is standing on a single thread. A single thread.
How do you mean?
Our democracy is at the verge of collapse. And this action is a further threat to the burial of our democracy. It's at the verge of collapse. It's only a single thread that is holding our democracy today as a country. And if care is not taken, with all that is happening and the high level of nepotism, it is we are gradually packing it in the coffin for a final burial.
So you agree it
has heavy negative effect on our democracy.
Because it started with a brutal, immediate past service, because they have called for removal of him. Maybe that's where this one borrowed his own leaf.
Of course, yes. In Nigeria, we can extend anything. We can extend anything and nothing happens. And nobody is speaking. Nobody is ready to speak. So that is...
Because if you speak, you die. If you don't speak, you still die.
According to our brother Dino.
Dino Milay.
So we have been calling since, remove the service chiefs, rejig the security architecture, but nothing happened. When it was already belated, they now brought in new people. At that point, what do they do? Now those people, the new people that have come in, have heavy work to do.
Yes.
So the question is, somebody should rise to the occasion. The president has ministers. He has people under him.
Even advisors.
He has advisors. They should do their work. They shouldn't just sit down there and enjoy taxpayers' money and drive on convoy and blow siren up and down. They should go back to the drawing board, do the work they are being paid for. If not, one day.
Thank you very much. But Mr. James, looking at all this issue you have, I see your past. How can this be remedied? Do you think there's any way it can be remedied? Like the presidency is saying that nothing can be done. Do you think anything can be done?
It's not true. Something can be done.
How?
The only remedy to this is whoever is claiming to be acting. I don't know what position he is now. Whether it is acting
or retired acting.
Retired acting.
Or retired, not tired Inspector General.
I don't know what capacity, what nomenclature to give him now. Whoever is sitting there should leave that seat. It is not his seat. And let the presidency, on the advice of the Nigerian Police Council, come up with a fresh person who should rightly assume that seat.
If the presidency refuse the presidency, you people lawyers, is there anything you people can do?
The thing now is we are waiting for lawyers to go to court and challenge it because it is illegal, it is unconstitutional. There is a breach of the constitution. We should go and seek enforcement and challenge.
So it's possible that lawyers can rise to the occasion.
Very well. I am aware that as we speak, maybe some persons may have filed suits challenging the presidency on this particular illegality. It is an illegality.
So two options you are saying: one, that the presidency and the other
the president should swallow his pride, and his minister should swallow their pride and do the right thing alongside the council, or people should go to court. Nigerians should go to court challenging this illegality and let the right thing be done. Those are the remedies.
Thank you very much. Is there any advice? Because as you are speaking, it's like some people have lost hope in this. Do we still have hope in this country that is going to be better?
As we speak, a lot of Nigerians have lost hope in this nation, but we still have.
But I know you don't. You have not lost hope.
That is why we'll keep talking.
Yes.
We have not lost hope. The challenge, a lot of people are leaving Nigeria on a daily basis because of the state of things. As it is, we don't have any system that is working. Everything has collapsed. But we still believe in Nigeria. We still believe in one Nigeria. We still believe in the development of this country. I want to encourage Nigerians. Let's keep speaking out. I want to appreciate Nigerians for the outcry over this illegality. It is a good way. It is a good step in the right direction, and it is a good way to go. So we should keep speaking out. We'll keep pressing and we'll keep pushing until the right thing is done and Nigeria becomes the Nigeria of our dream. Thank you.
You've heard it all. We should keep pushing and speaking out, for Nigeria is going to be a country of our dream, and we have to thank Nigerians who have risen up to the occasion to stop this illegality. But it's a chance we want to appreciate you for coming, and I know that when next we call you on Largest, and you also do your own part and keep on speaking, even as you are doing this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. There is no doubt that this indecent act of Mr. President to extend the tenure of office of Mohammed Adamu is illegal, unlawful, unwarranted, and unconstitutional. This is totally in violation and breach of 1999 Constitution and Police Act 2020 as amended, which Mr. President himself signed and assented to. The legal implication of this is that Nigeria has no Inspector General of Police as of now, due to the fact that Mohammed Adamu is due for retirement since February 2nd or the eve of February 1st, 2021. Nigeria is presently in their need of a motivated and friendly police force, not the one which deploys the uniform as an instrument of command, oppression, and extortion. It is therefore advised that the extension should be withdrawn forthwith in order to boost the morale of serving officers of the Nigerian Police Force, who are the persons entitled to occupy the office of the Inspector General of Police. Viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Justify Nigeria. Join us same time, same station on another fresh episode of the program. Until then, this is Anos Echinum, so wishing you the very best, and bye for now. Every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.